What is going on, everyone? We are going to be doing a little maintenance today on my wife's rig. It is a 2021 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. Everything that we do to this will apply to a TRD Pro Tundra as well. They have the same drivetrain. So we're going to be changing the oil, nothing crazy. I'm just going to run through what you need to do an oil change on these, how to do it, and basically things to look out for. I know it's not, a cool modification or anything like that, but maybe somebody's looking into getting into, doing their own maintenance on their vehicle and they just don't know where to start. So I'm hoping that this video might help someone, because a lot of times it's hard to find a mechanic to trust to do these things. That's why I prefer to do my own maintenance, just because of things like that. But nonetheless, let's get this going. I'm going to go through the tools, the oil, everything we need to get started, and then we'll run through the process with you guys. So stay tuned, y'all. I appreciate you watching. Let's do it. All right, for today, first off, you're going to need your oil, obviously. It's 0W20. I'm running Castrol Edge full synthetic. I've always ran Castrol on my things and I've never had any issues. And then you're going to need your paper filter. This is your oil filter. It goes inside the oil filter housing, which is kind of a pain to deal with, but I guess it's functional. Then in order to get to that oil filter housing, you're going to need an adapter like this. It's a 1/2-inch drive, 64mm adapter. You can buy these at most of your local auto parts stores, AutoZone, Napa, whatever. And then you're going to need your 1/2-inch socket wrench to run this adapter. Goes right in the back like that. That's how you're going to do it. You're going to need an extension as well to get in there. It's kind of a tight spot. And you have to use a socket wrench. Do not use an impact, or else you will strip that plastic housing on the oil filter. So my Sequoia is a TRD Pro model. So my skid plate actually has a access port to the oil filter, and for that all I'm going to need is a number 5 Allen head. If you have a TRD Pro Sequoia, it'll be the same. But if you are not running a TRD Pro Sequoia or Tundra, actually all this applies to Tundras as well, you are going to need a 10mm and a 12mm socket to take your skid plate off to access everything. And then for our drain plug bolts, we are going to need a 14mm socket. Then of course you're going to need your funnel and your some shop towels or something to wipe off this oil and stuff that you spill everywhere. So let's get started on this and start taking everything off and run through this.
All right, we are on the passenger side now, and right above the skid plate you can see right there, that is actually our drain plug for our oil, and that is a 14mm. So we're gonna get that taken off and start draining the oil.
It always helps when you're changing your oil to go ahead and pop your hood and open up that oil fill cap. Take that off and kind of let things ventilate through. I like to pop open that dipstick a little bit as well, get some air flowing through there, and that helps the oil get out a little easier. And also you want to go ahead and make sure the vehicle is warm. Just drive it around for a few minutes, get everything warm, get all that oil hot, and that'll help out as well.
All right, we got that drain plug off and everything draining. Luckily, I did not spill a single drop, which is a first. I usually will spill something or get my hands soaked. But we're gonna let all this drain out, and then we're gonna get to taking the filter off, put the plug back on, and then fill it back up. All right, here is our access to the oil filter right here. So it's 4 of these Allen heads. Like I said, they're a number 5. You just take those off and pop this little plate off, and that'll give you your access. Okay, while I'm waiting for this oil to drain, I'm gonna go over this. If you have a non-pro model, What you're going to need to do is pop off the front bumper right here. These are just little clips that pop out, and then you have these 12mm bolts on the skid plate right there. Another one right there on the other side, and then there is two in the back. And you take off all those bolts and the skid plate pops off, and that is for the other models other than the TRD Pro. If you're not running a TRD Pro skid plate, because the TRD Pro skid plate has this cool little access hole, and I think the same applies to Tundras as well. Okay, we got the plate off. You can see right there, that is the oil filter housing. That is where we will be placing that 64mm wrench on, and taking that off to access the filter. Okay, so you can see that housing right in there, and basically this filter wrench has these little grooves, as you can see, these three grooves that line up with the grooves on the housing of the filter. And you just slide that on, get it snug, and then slowly take it off. You don't want to over torque this thing because the housing is plastic. I don't know why Toyota does the plastic housing to begin with. It's kind of a stupid design, but you can always upgrade to aluminum if you do strip this off. Right there, I'm letting this oil drain out before I take that housing off completely. Kind of just shift it to the side and you'll start to see it drain out. That way you don't make too much of a mess. All right, I am going to show y'all this housing real fast and the filter, the tool to take it off. This is the adapter that you need. Like I said, it's a 1/2 inch drive, and this is the housing for your actual oil filter. This will make or break your oil change. If it's your first time doing it, you got to take it easy with these, because as you can see, it's plastic. And I have stripped one of these one time on a Tacoma, and it was no fun. I ended up upgrading to a aluminum one. So it has these three raised edges right there, and that lines up with the adapter with those three. You put that on, you stick your 1/2 inch drive in there, and just slowly unscrew it. Make sure when you tighten it not to over torque it as well. And as you can see on the inside of this right there, it says not for impact use, because they know that these plastic housings will break easily. So then basically, after you take this housing off, you get your new filter. And you slide it right on. Comes with new O-rings for everything. They even come with these little drain plug tools where you can take this off by itself and stick this thing in there and it'll drain it out. I never use that because I just like taking off the actual housing. It's faster and really does not make a mess. So then you swap your O-rings. This larger one goes around the actual housing. The smaller one is supposed to go on the bottom, but I'm not going to need that because I did not use that. So we're going to take off this old O-ring really quick. Even if it still looks good, you want to change that always. You never want to reuse those. And there's no need to lube it up. There's already oil all over this thing. So basically that just rolls in. There's a larger portion on the threads where the O-ring goes in. Right there. All slides right into place. And we are good to put this back on. And to put this back on, obviously, I'm just saying this, but it's just repeating what it was to take it off. Stick it back in, turn it on as tight as you can by hand, and then give it a few turns with this adapter. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in and turn it in as hard as we can by hand. And then we're gonna do a few turns with the adapter on. Nothing too crazy. These filters really don't have to be on there too tight. There we go. She's good to go. Okay, we have our drain plug back on, the filter back on, and we're gonna start putting oil back in this thing. I like to leave the skid plate, the access hole open for the filter housing, just in case. And finish it up. We're running it down to the 2 mark. So there's 2 quarts left in this one, which means we use 3 quarts out of it, and we have our full 8 quarts in the vehicle. All right, we got the vehicle running now. I'm just double checking for leaks. There is nothing leaking from the filter housing or the drain plug. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything bolted back up, and we are good to go. All right, and after you get everything done, you're gonna have this little warning, or let's see if I can zoom in on it. Maintenance required, visit your dealer. I guess everyone's seen that before. I'm gonna show you guys how to reset that after you change your oil. So what you do is you get out of that, just hit this little back arrow button, and then you're gonna scroll using this right here. You're gonna scroll to your settings, and then you're gonna find vehicle settings. You click vehicle settings, and then you scroll down right there to where it says maintenance reset, and then you hit that center button. It's going to ask you to reset the maintenance reminder, and then you're going to select yes, and you're good to go. Now you don't have to look at that on your screen anymore.
All right, y'all, we are all done, and the Sequoia is ready to rock and roll. And we have that peace of mind knowing that everything was done the right way. You know, when you have somebody working on your car, sometimes you really don't know what's going on, or even if they're doing anything to it at all. That's one of the main reasons why I like doing my own maintenance. As far as everything else goes, it's pretty simple. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. If you like the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.